Busia Okujeto Ablakwa is trending. Mahama is trending. Ras Mubarak is trending. Jubilee House is trending. Ghanaian embassies abroad are trending. Ghana is sweet.
You.
Mention the embassy where you hear your embassy name. Say away. 1. Algeria, Austria, Benin, Burkina Faso,
Nope.
Congo, Czech Republic, Equatorial Guinea, Guinea, Israel,
Nope.
Ivory Coast,
Nope.
Kuwait, Libya, Liberia, Malta, Namibia, Norway,
Nope.
Niger, Rwanda, Serbia, Sierra Leone, Trinidad and Tobago, and United Arab Emirates. Away.
You.
So Okujeto Ablakwa is trending with regards to this. Mahama they trend with regards to this, and then Ras Mubarak, the former MP of Kumbungu in the northern region, is also trending with regards to this. Yes, if you don't hear the news yet, this is an open letter that Ras Mubarak wrote to the office of the president in the Jubilee House, and the letter is straightforward. Now, the list of the embassies that he made mention of are the list of the embassies that we give, but we are going to read a full letter. But according to him, one of the reasons or some of the reasons why he feels that these embassies should be scrapped, or in other words be merged, so that other embassies will take up the responsibilities of this embassy, is that 1, we need money to run the various sectors of the economy. 2, we also have very sophisticated technologies that can be deployed now, such as the drones can be deployed to monitor the territorial borders of the country. So if you look at Ghana, for instance, we are surrounded by Togo, we are surrounded by Burkina Faso, we are surrounded by Cote d'Ivoire, and the list goes on and on. So Ghana can use drone to monitor this, and these are less expensive. So closing these embassies will channel more resources and revenues into other important sectors that will help in recovering the economy, because the economy is still in a recovery stage. So now let's go straight into the letter and read exactly what is contained in the letter that Mr. Ras Mubarak, the former MP of Kumbungu, addressed to His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, of which I'm sure the Foreign Minister Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa will also be in the known, or would have been told by now concerning the letter. Let's go straight into the letter, guys. So here is the full letter. So it's an open letter to the President of Ghana. He says, the President of the Republic of Ghana, Flagstaff House, or you can say Jubilee House, Accra, 7th June 2025. So we don't know when you were watching this video, but that was when the letter was written. And now he says, Dear Mr. President, focus on the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Given the blank economic situation your government inherited and the burden of such challenges on households around the country, cuts in government spending has become excessively critical or crucial. Even though you have cut spending starting from the presidency and reduced the number of ministries and ministers amongst a raft of measures, there are considerable number of areas where savings could be made. This open letter is the first in a series of recommendations for revenue generations to address critical sectors like health, education, infrastructure, etc. I wish to focus today on the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and to propose for the downgrading and or scrapping of Ghana's embassies in the following countries. And the countries are Algeria, Austria, Benin, Burkina Faso, Congo, Czech Republic, Equatorial Guinea, Guinea, Israel, Ivory Coast, Kuwait, Liberia, Libya, Malta, Namibia, Norway, Niger, Rwanda, Serbia, Sierra Leone, Trinidad and Tobago, and United Arab Emirates. In an era where even the richest countries are struggling to meet the most pressing needs of their people, we, a developing country, cannot afford to spend beyond our means. Difficult and painful decisions ought to be made to give the Ghanaian people the dignity they deserve. Justification for scrapping. So he gave his reason for the reason to be scrapped, or for the embassies to be scrapped. And he goes ahead and says that these diplomatic missions and embassies have been selected based on a combination of factors, including one, low trade volumes. Many of these countries do not have significant trade relationship with Ghana, making the maintenance of diplomatic missions less critical. Limited diplomatic environment or engagement, limited diplomatic engagement. Some of these missions are not actively engaged in substantial diplomatic activities that benefit Ghana's national interest. 3. Cost saving. Maintaining diplomatic mission is very costly, and the cost of maintaining embassies in the above countries cost the Ghanaian taxpayer several billions of dollars yearly. Even though a handful of chancery buildings in places like Namibia was given to Ghana for free, there are other costs that make no economic sense. We can't keep paying for high rent costs whilst kids in school up and down the country sit in the floor. Keeping these embassies cannot be justified when clinics in rural Ghana are an eyesore. By scrapping these missions, Ghana can save on operational costs, including rent, utilities, salaries, and other expenses. The cost savings from scrapping these diplomatic missions and embassies can be substantial based on average costs. Estimated estimate savings ranges in the hundreds of millions dollars annually. These funds can be redirected to more pressing areas such as healthcare. Healthcare. We have to improve our healthcare infrastructure, funding medical research and enhancing access to quality healthcare for all Ghanaians. Education. Investing in educational facilities, teacher training programs, and scholarship to improve the quality of education and increase access to education for disadvantaged groups. 3. Infrastructure. Developing critical infrastructure projects such as roads, bridges, and public building and public transportation system to support economic growth and improve the quality of life for our citizens. 4. Housing. The concepts of basic human needs are food, clothing, and shelter. Our countrymen and women need affordable homes, shelter like food and clothing, as is so fundamental to human survival and well-being. Implementing affordable housing projects to address the housing deficit and provide decent living conditions for low and middle income earners. What to do? We start from embassies in the above countries. Now, he gives a solution as to what to do regards to the embassies that he's suggesting that it should be scrapped. What should we do to the staffs over there? This is critics of my proposal. Critics of my proposal may raise issues with job losses, but there will be little or no Ghanaian job losses. Staff from the scrap missions and embassies can be redeployed to more critical diplomatic missions where Ghana's interests are more substantial. This will not only optimize the use of human resources, but also ensure that our diplomatic efforts are focused on assets that yield the greatest benefit for the country. The 21st century requires for governments and public institutions to be smaller without compromising efficiency. A typical example would be what Australia, a country so advanced and prosperous than Ghana, is doing. Ms. Owen Jones, the Australian High Commissioner, oversees her country's diplomatic relations in Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, Guinea, Liberia, Mali, Senegal, Sierra Leone, and Togo. That is prudence. That is prudence. Even with bigger embassies in places like London and Washington, we can downsize without compromising efficiency. An economically struggling country cannot justify keeping an embassy in Peru and Vienna when the ambassador in Berlin cannot easily have additional responsibility of overseeing not just Peru and Vienna, but The Hague and Copenhagen. What Ghana may need in these countries, I have suggested, should be the proposal to be acceptable to your government is the appointment of consular generals in these countries, where we have much diplomatic and economic activities. The ambassadors should be given additional responsibility to oversee areas with little activity. Given the current economic challenges facing our country, it is imperative that we adopt prudent measures to manage our resources effectively in order to meet the critical and urgent challenges in health, education, and infrastructure, housing, and security, and so on. With prudent management and strategic decision making, Ghana can navigate its economic challenges and achieve sustainable development. I hope that you will consider this first of several proposals to come and explore ways to optimize the operations of our diplomatic missions to better serve the interests of Ghana. Sincerely, Ras Mubarak, Accra. So clearly, no job loss will be lost here. The Ghanaian mission, the workers, they will be redeployed to other areas that need more workers, and then also we redeploy to other sectors. And this is a good suggestion. But he's hoping the president will actually buy into this and then be able to use it to help the country to grow economically. Guys, so this is all the letter about Ras Mubarak. Guys, Bibishia Ichiri in the next video. Au revoir.